Hi guys, it's Olive. Today I'm here to do my very first original tag video. I've been wanting to create my own tag video for a really long time, and I decided to start thinking over some possible categories. I was starting to mull over ideas for what kind of tag video I would want to create, and I saw The Breakfast Club, which had come on TV, and I started having thoughts about high school. I was actually the co-editor-in-chief of my newspaper in high school. Weird fun facts about me. But we were in charge of doing the senior superlatives, meaning best dressed, most popular, cutest couple, things like that. And I figured with the end of the year coming around that this is a really cool way to maybe mention some of the books that aren't necessarily going to make it onto your top 10 of the year, but you still wanted to say something about them. So I had the idea to do the year-end book superlative tag about the books that you've read in the calendar year, this year being 2015. There are 10 different categories. Number 1 is most likely to be in the movies, a book that would make the best movie. My answer to this one is Beljar by Meg Wolitzer. I loved this book. I really felt like it had a great sense of atmosphere, and I think that atmosphere, if done correctly, could translate to the screen. There is some magical realism in this book that I think could really be captured well in a movie. I think with the right cast, it could be really magical. And I think this is something that could equally appeal to both teens and adults. So really, I'm not sure why they're not talking about making this into a movie already. Number 2, biggest drama queen / king. The most dramatic or overly dramatic book you've read. This year, the most overly dramatic book I read was definitely Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. The level of melodrama in this book was incredibly high, almost to the point of being overwhelming. Number 3, Best Dressed, the book with the best cover. This was a hard decision, but I ended up picking Sleepwalking by Meg Wolitzer. Here is a more close-up view of it. I really like how minimalistic this cover is. This is a reprint of the original cover, which came out in the 1980s, I believe. And that cover was way busy and not at all reflective of what the book was about. I love how simple this is. I love the use of color. It really draws in your eye. And I do think that it evokes the feeling that the book does. Number 4 is Most Creative, the book that had the most unique characters, plot, or structure. The book I chose for this is, unsurprisingly, The Tsar of Love and Techno by Anthony Marra. There are mixed opinions on how to describe the format of this book. Some people say that it's a collection of short stories. Others, like myself, say that it's a novel broken into short story segments. But certainly the way it bounces all around between the characters' perspectives, the fact that you're jumping around through time and to different places while all coming together in a really beautiful way, certainly was very unique. It definitely kept my attention, and I adored this book. Number 6 is Most Popular, the book that has the highest number of ratings on Goodreads. My answer for this category would be The Diary of Anne Frank. This is a very widely read book in many different languages. I think I had read snippets of it before, but this was the first time that I had read the book in its entirety. Number 6, Most Likely to Succeed, a book that's going to be very well appreciated in the future, whether that means that it's going to win awards or is going to be considered a new classic. For this one, I say Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff. This book has already made quite a few waves. It's already won some awards. I think it's going to continue doing so. This book is so beautiful and so well written. I adored the reading of this book. For me, there are not many books that as soon as I finish reading them, I want to immediately go to the beginning and start all over again. But this was definitely a book that made me want to do that. This is definitely one that I will be rereading in the future. I love this book. I'm recommending it to everyone who likes this style of book, and it's definitely one that I want to own at some point. Number 7 is Class Clown, a book that you couldn't help but laugh at. I'm choosing When You Are Engulfed in Flames by David Sedaris. I think I've mentioned before, I do like David Sedaris, but it's kind of hit or miss with me with each of his essays. Sometimes I love an essay and find it hilarious, and other times it just does not resonate with me at all. When You Are Engulfed in Flames was no exception to this rule for me, but there was one essay about a former neighbor of David Sedaris who was the most crotchety old woman that I had ever heard about in my entire life. There was one anecdote about how she once attacked a deaf mute, which was so crazy and unbelievable I couldn't help but laugh and gasp in astonishment. And there were a couple of other essays in that collection that I just couldn't help but laugh at. David Sedaris is a very funny guy, and his collections are even better if you listen to him read them on audiobook. Number 8 is Most Improved, a book that started off slow but really picked up. My choice for this category is An Uncommon Education by Elizabeth Purser. For the first 50 plus pages of this book, I did not know what to make of it. I wasn't even sure I liked it. Once the main character, Naomi, gets to Wellesley, things really start to pick up, and I ended up adoring and racing through the second half of this book because I just couldn't get into my brain fast enough. Number 9 is Cutest Couple, the cutest couple from a book. The couple I chose was Agnieszka and the Dragon from Uprooted by Naomi Novik. If you've seen my review of that book, you know how much I love it. I love the relationship between Agnieszka and the Dragon. She is so free-spirited, but clumsy and passionate, whereas the dragon is calm, collected, and grumpy. The way that those elements of their personalities play off of each other throughout the book is so hilarious and touching, and I loved every part of their relationship. And finally, the 10th category is Biggest Heartbreaker, a book that broke your heart. I'm going to double down and pick a book that I've already chosen, but I love this book so much that I do not care. It's once again The Tsar of Love and Techno by Anthony Marra. As I stated in my review of this book, there was a section where I had to put the book down because it felt like someone punched me. I was so overcome with emotion. I should state that I'm not a big crier, so the fact that this section of the book touched me so much really says something. I really did feel as though my heart broke in that moment. There are several sections in this book where you feel like your heart is just being ripped out of your chest, but at the same time, you almost want to be thanking Anthony Marra for allowing you to experience all of those emotions. It's just a great book. So that was the year-end book superlatives tag. Obviously, this one is for the year of 2015. If you're watching this video, I tag you. I would love to see anyone and everyone do this tag. I really want to hear people's answers. If you do this tag, please give me a link to your video. I would love to watch it. I hope that you are having fun looking back on your reading year. I certainly am. Please leave any comments you may have in the comment section below. If you want to get in touch with me elsewhere, I'm a book olive on both Twitter and Instagram, and the link to my Goodreads is down below if you would like to be friends. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tag video. I will see you in the next video.